You're gonna start with the question right off the bat.
Yo, yo, yo. What is something about your journey that people looking at you today will probably never know?
My journey? Wow. There's an awful lot they probably don't know. I mean, there's the public side and the private side. We
For the culture.
Yo. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tamel Cuts, proud owner of Uppercuts Barbershop.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Lonnie Ho. I'm proud owner of World Class Faders and World Class Stylist Barbershop and Salon.
And you are watching the Culture in Motion podcast.
Yes. So, you guys, listen, we are so excited for our guest tonight, man. This guy is somebody we have admired and respected from afar for a long time. And a lot of us in this industry have and do. And it's been an honor to be able to build a true relationship with him, and even more recently getting out and blessing the community together. Man, long before we had the opportunity to build with him at events and around the country, I knew him through YouTube. But to meet him in person and to feel this treasure chest of wealth that he has, it's just one of those things where we're so excited to be able to bring him to our platform and share with you. So, educator, influencer, worldwide, just dad and big brother to the industry, man. With no further delay, man, we're gonna introduce our guy, Ivan Zoot.
What? We just spent 2 days all over Northern California visiting schools and sharing the good news of this industry. And these guys want to spend more time with me.
We didn't get enough, bro.
Yes. And you didn't finish answering this question, man. T, bring them back, man.
Yes, sir.
One of the things we talked about in the last couple of days was this sort of the divide in the industry, or this gulf between snapper. Now I'm one of the old folks, and the new younger people in the industry that we don't necessarily know. And in some cases, we don't necessarily understand each other really well as we come to this industry that we both love, but from a different perspective. So you asked the question, what do a lot of people not know? And the answer is, depends on the audience. But I'll give you a perfect example. I don't think a lot of people know my first job in the business. I don't know if we talked about this in any of our time together. You know what my first job in the business was?
Talk to us.
Shampoo girl.
Why does the shampoo got to be a girl?
Well, yeah, it's just the idea. I was an assistant and a shampooer in a very fancy upscale full service day spa salon. I did that the last couple 100 hours of beauty school. And then I started in that shop as an assistant and apprentice, and folding people's towels, sweeping people's floors, rinsing people's hair color, washing people's hair, folding foils, taking end papers off of perm rods. I started at the bottom. Literally, and you want to call it entry level? There's nothing else. And many of us do, but a lot of people, I don't talk about that too much, and it's not really part of my narrative. And some older folks would assume that's where I started, because back in the day, that's where we all started. But the business is not like that anymore. So Some younger folks wouldn't imagine that's where it begins.
Okay, let's stay in that beginning area. Take us back when you came through the industry in those earlier days. What did barbering and cosmetology education look like then, and what did it cost with what students are dealing compared to what students are dealing with today?
All right, for comparative purposes, I lived in Chicago. I was a student at Pivot Point's main campus. So many schools around the country are Pivot Point affiliates. They teach Pivot Point's licensed curriculum, but they're not corporate. I was at the main campus. at the time, 1,500 hours in Chicago, and it cost right around $10,000, maybe a few dollars more than that, but not much. And that's in 1987. So we're going back about 40 years. It was 10 grand. For perspective, there was a beauty school in my community where I later hired a lot of graduates as employees in my shop. That education cost at the same time about $1,700. So, a huge gulf between what I paid where I went, because where I went was really at the time regarded as one of the finest educations in the world. I think maybe a third of the students that I attended beauty school with, because I went to beauty first, I went to barber later, were from outside of the Chicago metropolitan area and outside of the country that were coming to Chicago, living in dormitories to attend cos school, almost like you would college. We had international students because that was the nature of that type of education at the time. And that kind of stuff doesn't exist in the same way anymore.
Got you. And for people that don't know, you're a licensed barber and Cosmo, correct?
Correct.
And an educator.
Correct. Well, I don't have a barber or cos educator's license. I've never worked in a school as an educator. I like we did, I spent a lot of time doing guest presentation within schools, which doesn't require that educator's license, but I am not a licensed educator.
Okay, got you. And so we really want to get into our topic tonight about this expensive, barber college ticket that we're hearing about. But just for context, how did you go from barber to educator, and what was that takeoff like, so people could understand who we're talking to right now?
Good point.
Well, you know me, long story short, or long story long.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of long stories riding around with you.
Hey, Ivan, look at your barber, your new barber brother's face when you say that.
I love it, Lyman. I love you, so don't take it personal.
He doesn't. I can tell because he gonna keep going. He don't care.
I'm the one that made the joke,
right? So tell us about that crossover, man. So we want to get a little bit of your credentials out, so people that don't know you, which surprises us on how they don't, but so they understand who's giving this this feedback on what we get into later.
Yeah, went to beauty school, worked as an assistant, worked as a full service stylist in a upscale salon. Pretty quickly figured out that I really needed more help. I got a job at a chain. I worked for Supercuts. Supercuts taught me a system. They taught me efficiency. It's the foundation that was later used to break the world records, was what I learned cutting hair at a high volume chain. I love that end of the market. Ultimately opened my own shop, copying an awful lot of what I learned from chain shops. And I started doing education. I had been doing training with the chain. I've been doing training with Supercuts on a limited basis. But for me, the need to do education was primarily driven by revenue. I had a brand new shop. We were working on making money. We were getting our boots up and working along. But I saw the opportunity to do education for money. I'm not going to tell you that I first got into it to give back. That's a wonderful notion, but it wasn't what drove me initially. And my first educational opportunities came by way of the Andis Company, a long-standing relationship I had with them, providing me the opportunity to demo, to sell clippers at shows. We weren't doing education; we were doing sales by way of sharing and education. So I got into the business with my earliest opportunities with the folks at Andis. Got you.
And it's interesting, man, because we saw you from afar and we didn't really realize I couldn't tell. I was like, does he still cut hair or is he just an educator? But getting to know you over the time, I'm like, oh no, Ivan's a real barber. Like you're a barber to the heart. You just added teaching to that, right?
Yeah. Once I got into the business a bit, because if you would have asked me when I was in school, I would have told you I am going to be doing medium to long length ladies' hair and hair color. That was the intention. I saw those as big money opportunities in an industry that I was attracted to. And then I apprenticed for a guy who cut women's hair, very little men, women's hair, but all of the hair was short. And that's when the short hair bug bit me. Now, those of you who've seen me at shows, work in the booth, you know my wife's in the booth with me. My wife's got that short spiky do.
Yeah, it's tight. It's cool too.
Yeah, I love short hair. That Sal, the guy that I worked for as an apprentice, Sal got me into short hair. And my reasoning was short hair comes back faster. You know, we know this from fades. You turn around, a fade's back in the waiting room. Short hair comes back faster. You cut the color and the chemicals off faster. You need fewer clients to be busier. So the short hair thing got me. Once the short hair thing got me, it wasn't much of a leap to cutting guys. Gotcha. And once I started cutting guys, I'm like, no, this is my jam. For whatever reason, I gravitated to it. I think, I've always enjoyed shaving personally. I consider shaving my face in some ways a very spiritual daily ritual. So the whole shaving thing was cool for me. Anybody that knows me knows you've never seen me with facial hair.
I was going to ask you, have you ever had
Is there a picture out there somewhere we can see?
I don't even see stubble, T. Whenever I see Ivan, I'm like, he don't.
I shave every single day. Jesus. And truth be told, if I ever skip, like a day that I'm not doing anything and I just don't shave in the morning, I have to shave that night, because if I don't shave, I can't sleep because it's itchy. Wow. So it just bothers me. And I also, as a teenager, as many of us, I had some challenge with acne, with oiliness and things like that. So facial cleansing, washing my face. You guys got to remember, I'm a little bit older than I look. And that's only because I've been, putting stuff on my face.
Hey, you got good skin, man. You done got through all that acne because you got smooth skin, man.
Hey, black don't crack,
You must be black on the inside, son.
Hey, they didn't know. Boy, we done been rolling with Ivan for a few days.
I even got the cool handshake with the snap down.
He gonna go back to Ohio like, cut that out, man. This how
we do it like this now.
This we do it. Hey, if y'all just to enlighten you all a little bit, bring you in. We've been blessed to rock with Ivan for the last. Actually 3 days.
3 days,
we were at the NorCal Barber Expo in Alameda County Fairgrounds on Sunday. He was doing this thing out there and educated a lot of people, man, really spread a game. But then on top of that, we got to run with the legend and hit up schools in the Bay Area, barbershop in the Bay Area. Shout out to Moeller in Oakland, Moeller Barber College. Shout out to Empire Barbershop. They beautiful shop. What city were we in? Were we in Concord?
We were in Concord.
Yeah, and Concord inside of the mall. And shout out to Urban Barber College. In Concord, man. We got to bless them on Monday. And then today, if y'all didn't know, we're not playing, man. We moving. We've been around this northern map right here, man. We started off with Federico Beauty Institute. Shout out to them. We moved on to
California College.
Yeah, Barber College down in Stockton. Yes. And then we wrapped up with Mix. Matter of fact, I seen somebody on.
Was Gabby?
Yeah, Gabriel. Oh, Gabriel from Federico's. Appreciate you over on Instagram. So anyway, man, just wanted to bring them up to speed with where we at today.
Ivan, we've been riding around with you, and we know about your world records, right? But you gave us some information in our travels about like how you have to, how it's regulated. It's just, you just can't go in there and do it. There's certain rules and regulations. Talk about your world records, how many you got, and what was your time frame, and then let everybody know what it took to follow the rules to make it happen.
Yeah, we talk about the rules a lot because when we share the world records on the surface, a lot of people, you get some pushback. It's like, wait a minute, that's a crazy number. That ain't real. And then you get into the conversation of, well, what kind of haircuts were they? And what were the rules? So records are most haircuts in 24 hours nonstop without a break. Most haircuts in an hour, fastest haircut in the world. 16 times I've broken that last one. 34 haircuts in 1 hour, fastest haircut 55 seconds, 340 haircuts in 24 hours. And, staggering numbers. But I also want to mention, I did this in 98 and 08, August 23rd, 10 years apart. No fluke. I'm not doing it again. I'm too old for this stuff. But every 4 years at the Olympics, we see records fall. I will not always hold these records. I will always have broken them. So my invitation really, and I mentioned this at schools, who's next? Who in the new generation of barbers wants to step up? Who wants to take the systems that I built, the foundation that I laid? Who wants to add modern tools and technology? Who wants to add, an upgraded approach to what we were doing? Who's breaking them next? Because I want to help you. I will cheer for you louder than your mother if you want to make an attempt at this, because it's about passing that on in that way. I'm not trying to gatekeep this. But what's important to understand is breaking the records is not the tough part. Following the rules is the tough part. And then submitting to Guinness all of the supporting data and the supporting documentation necessary to verify this. You got to have judges. Those judges have to meet certain qualifications. You have to have signed and sworn affidavits. There's a lot to it. But when we start getting into the nitty-gritty of the rules, all of a sudden, the responses from people are, oh, wow. They understand it at a different level.
Okay.
Example, you got to have a full head of hair. So if you got a guy who's receded or a guy who's thin in the crown, you can't use them. Less than a full head of hair would be less than a haircut. Another rule, you got to take half an inch off every hair on the head. So look at me. If I showed up, you can't use me. You can't take half an inch off most of my head. We talked about how that ties into some of what we see at competitions where so many of these guys are pre-cut and these guys on stage are not taking much hair off of people. They got to be legitimate haircuts, transformations, changes. One of the big rules, which really kind of separates the men from the boys, if you will, you got to leave 1 inch of hair from the front hairline to the top crown. No guard over the top of the head. You can't put a 4 guard or 3 guard on and zip the top of somebody's head and say it's a haircut. It's a haircut in a shop when somebody's paying for it. But in terms of qualifying technically as a haircut execution, no go. So there's 18 individual criteria like that that must be followed. I can have somebody shampooing for me ahead of time. I can have some.
They'll be back.
Somebody combing people out and drape. Yeah, we popped on and off there. No one's allowed to touch the hair. So there's quite a bit of regulation to follow if somebody wants to do this.
For people that don't know what the Guinness is, what is the Guinness?
Well, the story is that way back, you know how people hang out in a bar and they're drinking, and when they're drinking, they might be watching sports. And when they're drinking and they're watching sports, they might start arguing about players and statistics and records and who threw the longest touchdown and who had the longest career, that kind of stuff. Well, bar fights can get ugly. And Guinness, y'all know Guinness, the beer.
Right.
Yeah.
The Guinness Brewery in Dublin, in Ireland, and I don't know the date on this, but it goes way back. Guinness began publishing a book, and it was a book that was given for free to bartenders. And it was a book, it specifically was a book of sporting and athletic records.
Okay.
And it was provided free of charge to the bartenders. It was kept behind the bar specifically for the purpose of settling arguments.
So we're gonna get drunk. We're gonna talk a lot of, and then we're gonna argue who's the best, who got the best record, and then prove it. Bartender.
And then the bartender, yeah,
that's dope.
Bartender's gonna go, all right, both of you both of you sit down and shut up. I'm going to get the book. And then they would go get the book, and they would look it up in the book, and they would say right there in the book, and they put the book back behind the bar. Well, that's how it started. And it moved from sports and sports statistics to all kinds of things. What's the tallest mountain in the world? What's the biggest fish in the ocean? All kinds of, stuff. Because, people that like to argue, they'll argue about anything.
Right.
And now they've been producing that book for, it's got to be at least 100 years, I would guess. You buy them in stores that, kids, the target audience for that book now is boys between the ages of like 7 and 15. That's the sweet spot. When we were kids, we all had the book, and we would pore over that book for hours, reading all the stats and all the information and everything in there. So at this point, Guinness, it's separate from the brewery business, but it is a aggregator of these kinds of statistical pieces. And they're a book publisher, and they're an adjudicator, a judge, and a certifier of human accomplishment, I guess would be the way to describe it.
It sounds like a book of winning facts.
Yeah,
winning
and
facts.
Now it's anything you can name, man. There's a record for it.
I've seen some of them. And real quick, I'm sorry. Go ahead, T. I got one too.
I just wanted to know, like, was you thumbing through the book and said, "Oh, there's a haircut record. Let me see if I can break that," or did you say, "Let me create a new record"?
Good question.
What made you even go out and do it?
No, that's a great question. And the answer is, you remember, I'm from Chicago. And when it snows in Chicago, you get 14 inches of snow in the parking lot. Nobody's coming to get a haircut. And when nobody comes to get a haircut, barbers and stylists, they sit around and they start talking smack, just like you do in a bar. And it really was a bunch of us sitting around, and somebody goes, I'm faster than you. And somebody else goes, no, I'm faster than you. And somebody else goes, no, he's faster than everybody. And this is before the internet. You couldn't go on and Google the world record. You had to go home and find the book. And the book had a haircut record. Fastest haircut in the world was 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Ooh. And haircuts per hour was 18 were the world records. Now, I looked at those two numbers and I said, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. I can't do that. But I looked at that 18 and I said, 18? I bet I could beat that. And what I did was I created a system, because it's not a haircut, it's a system. Any haircut, shoulder length or shorter. I created a system. And then the next thing I did was I practiced. I did one haircut every single night. My shop closed at 9 o'clock. I would have a client come in at 9 o'clock appointment for a free haircut for me to refine and practice my system. And I also paid one employee an extra hour to stay with me to learn my system, because I was going to need help. I was going to need sweepers, and I was going to need capers and drapers, and I was going to need people to sanitize the tools. When you look at that world record, it's got my name on it. But what's not on my world records is the name of the 22 or 3 other people that were the supporting team. Think about like a pit stop at a NASCAR race. You got one driver, but you got a crew.
Whoa, now that's deep. I didn't even imagine that
right.
Like you said, that pit crew behind you. The other things, I was thinking you were doing all this by yourself, and I had that question, like, you sanitizing stuff, putting it in the quats for 10 minutes and had to wait. And I'm like, how's he doing this?
Well, you got to remember, at this point, I got a relationship with the Andis company. I'm using a shop. I'm using 3 stations. I have multiple sets of tools. I've got people lined up behind the chairs. So you hit it and quit it, and you move to the next chair, and you hit it. And while you're moving, they're getting the guy out. They're resetting. They're swapping out for clean tools. They're sweeping. They're resetting. They're caping and draping. They're getting them ready. So all I'm doing is cutting. dropping the tools, and jumping over.
That's tight. See, I'm glad you said it like a pit. You know what I mean? It made me think of a race.
And it's orchestrated. It's choreographed. If you've ever seen,
sounds like
like in a movie when they choreograph a fight scene.
Yeah.
I mean, we had it down to, because you got to remember, all I had to do was cut hair. That's not that hard. Everybody had a little job. One guy's job, sweep the floor. One guy's job, reset the tools. Y'all ever take auto shop in high school?
Yeah. No, I used to go over to the auto shop though.
Okay. Do you ever notice in like a high school auto shop, when you open the tool cabinets, you know how they had the outlines like the shape of a hammer, and that's where you put the hammer back and the wrench, and you put the wrench back? We did this on the station. We actually used a pen and we drew spots on the counter where tools got put down.
Oh, that's
so
dope.
I didn't have to think about where the T outliner was. The T outliner always was in the spot.
Ooh.
I could pick up a T outliner without looking. So this was, and this is the part people don't see. This is the stuff that, and every one of these things is pieces of seconds,
right,
that add up.
And
the critical thing is, I got 20 some people. Everybody's got a job. If any one person blows their job,
it's all off.
The whole thing's over.
It's all off. And guess what you just did? You actually just gave tips to barbers that just want to speed up. 360 Jeezy kind of threw that to us. Like, it's not just about cutting faster. What are you doing in between? Are you talking? And are you, what's your cleaning process like? Real quick though, Ivan, I want to ask you, what are the benefits? Like, in a nutshell, what are some of the benefits of getting this record? Like, what happens? Do they pay you? Do you get a trophy? Are you interviewed on TV? You know what I mean? Or do the neighborhood just say that's the man? Or is it just the accolades draw attention and open up opportunities?
The first thing I want to say to answer that question is, I did this before social media. Mm-hmm. I did this really before YouTube, before the internet was any of what the internet has become. If you did this today, it's hard to get your head around the extent to which you could blow up viral with this, because you don't get a trophy, you don't get money, you get a paper certificate. Okay. Gotcha. I had to take them down, put them in frames, and they hang on the wall in my house. Thank you very much. They're in my office. But what you get, and I think there's a great metaphor here for graduating from barber school. When you graduate from barber school, they give you a diploma, but they don't give you money and they don't give you a trophy. Mm-hmm. You get the same thing I got for the world records. You know what you get? You get opportunity.
Oh, I knew that was the word. Yes.
and I was already doing platform work. I already worked for Andis. This got me into a really great gig with a product company who brought me on board to teach efficiency and productivity. It put me in a situation to be able to leverage the records towards greater opportunity. Nobody gave you anything. And I think for the time I did it in, I'm pleased. I think I did a pretty good job with it. But it makes my brain hurt just a little bit when I think about what would happen if you did it now, or what you could do by leveraging modern social tools and social connectivity.
I'm gonna reach out to you, Ivan. I'm so glad we could call you a barber brother now, because I'm not gonna spoil it for her, but we have a braider at one of my shops, and we're literally as a group planning her. She has her own world record that she's going for. It doesn't have to do with speed or anything, but to have, this is where we talk about the currency and the relationships, just to be able to reach out to you, because I'm sure if I could tell you what she's gonna do, you're gonna help us approach it way more aggressively, man. So I'm excited to run it by you off air.
Yeah, happy to help. Of course, you know the number. Call me. Let's talk. I want to help anybody in this business that wants more. That's what it's all about, helping people. Whatever your more is, let's go.
Let's do it. All right, man. This has been good, man. If you guys are enjoying this and you got questions for Ivan, hang out, because at the end we're gonna have about the last 10 minutes. We're gonna give you a chance to do Q&A. This guy is full of wealth, full of knowledge. You'll be crazy to not get your questions ready. So T, in the meantime, show them who we be rocking and rolling with, though.
Got you, big dog.
The best barbers and shop owners know that aside from customer service, presentation is everything. I mean, look around. If you want to grow long term, you have to show up professional and legit. That's exactly why I started Focal Fuse, to help brands look like industry leaders without the extra BS. Focal Fuse has helped some of the biggest names in the barbery and beauty industry bring their brands and expos to life to feel 100% like them. And availability is limited, but if you know we have to work together, just send a message, we'll have a quick conversation, and I'll take care of the rest. Peace.
For those who don't know me, my name is Jason Bell. I'm founder of Barbers Illustrated Media. I'm also founder and editor-in-chief of Barbers Illustrated Magazine. At Barbers Illustrated, we're building the biggest barber media company on the planet. Our mission goes way beyond the chair. We are entirely focused on teaching barbers how to elevate, establish structure, take true ownership, and create real, lasting wealth. You can get the blueprint delivered straight to you. Digital access is just $3.99 a month, or you can grab a physical print magazine for $9.99 a month. Just head over to barbersillustratedmagazine.com and join the movement. Plus, we're always looking for barbers who fit the brand to feature in our upcoming issues. If you feel like that's you, head over to our Instagram, hit the link in our bio, and fill out the Get Featured form. So don't miss out on the movement. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let's keep shaping the culture forward. Enjoy the show.
Yeah. We's back.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking and rolling with us. As y'all see, we moving around a little different, having more fun with this, man. We're gonna take a moment to acknowledge these threads we got on here today, man. I see some similarities. We got this barber side on here, man. We want to make sure that we shout out our apparel of the week. And what we do, we are blessed. A lot of people give us their gear at different events we go to, and this is our way of saying thank you for it. So with that being said, T, what do you have on yourself today, man?
Well, my guy, I have been blessed. I am rocking the latest and greatest anti-broke Barbers Club brim corduroy. Is that corduroy? Yes, sir. I love this hat. It's dope because it goes good with my new shirt. Barber side, you know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't sanitizing, y'all ain't advertising. I'm trying to find something to go with that.
Hey, y'all, on the crown, man. I love that hat. That's one of my favorites, that anti-broke corduroy. I also got another one of my favorites, man, De La Bay. This is our guy who throws Golden State Expo. I'm going to let y'all feel this. I know we on through the camera, but damn it, feel this.
We're talking suede.
Tell him about it, Ivan. Look, I didn't even say it. He can feel it through the camera, man. This is one of my favorite hats, and there's also some corduroy on the top. Shout out to De La Bay. And then, of course, on the shirt, everybody, I don't care if you are in the barber side, the beauty side, Cosmo, it don't matter. Everybody needs to know what the hell this barber side is. So, man, that's what we're rocking on the chest today. So with that being said, that is our apparel of the week. And then that brings us to a very, very, very good question, because first of all, thank you for our barber side shirts.
Yes,
we wouldn't be wearing these shirts tonight. We might be naked, man, if Ivan didn't hook us up. Talk to us, man. Like, what does Ivan have to do with barber side? Did you create this? Is this your brand? Is this your company? Or what's going on with this?
Barbicide is, obviously number one in the world in disinfection, cleanliness, infection control in the beauty and barber industry. I have used the brand for a long time. They're a Wisconsin-based brand. down the road from the Andis folks that I worked for, across the border from where I lived in Northern Illinois. And I got to know these guys by doing some work and a little bit of consulting with them, helping them with some projects. You know, the parent company of Barbicide owns a number of other brands in the beauty industry that people are familiar with. They own Triple Lanolin, they own Lucky Tiger, things like that. And got to know those folks and got involved in helping them to promote Barbicide certification. When they first launched their online certification program, it started with me supporting that initiative and then morphed into really representing the brand at beauty events, barber events, shows and things around the country and around the world, really helping them continue to be a resource and a source of support for people in the beauty and barber industry, and continuing to keep them number one in the world. So it's a great relationship. It's a great partnership. It allows me to connect, much like you gentlemen, it allows me to connect Barbicide with brands and opportunities in the industry. You know, at the end of the day, they're a small company. It's not a large number of people behind the scenes making the stuff and shipping the stuff and running that business. So in a lot of ways, I am the eyes and the ears of the business on the street. Barbicide would not know that United Barbers Club is some guys that are out there doing great things for the industry. So I'm able to bridge the connection there and foster the relationship, which, you know, if you talk to United Barbers Club for more than 2 or 3 minutes, somebody's going to use the word relationship. Because really, that's what it's all about.
That's it. That's our currency, man.
All right.
No, we Ivan, to us, you are the face of Barbicide, man. You see that big jar, you know Ivan is there, man. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, they bought me my big jar. I asked for that for a couple of years before I finally convinced them that this would be a great way to represent the brand, and people gravitate to it. You know, you blow that thing up and plug it in at a show, and people just got to get a picture with it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a lot of fun. So
let's see if we can get some more people certified. Let's give us the information they need to go get Barbicide certified, and then let's do some tidbits about properly using and measuring Barbicide.
Yeah.
Barbicide.com, of course, is the place to go. Top of the page, right at the top there, you're going to see Barbicide certification. You click on there. It's a 20-minute, approximately, it'll take you. Absolutely free educational certification program. You're going to watch, read, listen. You're going to go through it. When you're done, there's going to be a short test. You're going to pass the test. They're going to email you a certificate. You're going to buy a 99-cent frame at Walmart. You're going to put that certificate on the wall in your shop because it matters. It's important to your customers to know that they can trust you. They like to say blue is the color of trust. People have known that product. You know, we were at Federico. They're celebrating their 80th anniversary. Barbicide's got a couple years on them. In terms of how old the product is out there in the industry, and you know, number one for a reason. So the big things you got to know, you got to mix it right. 2 to 32, 2 ounces of blue, 32 ounces of water, 10 minutes immersion time. Dump it every day. Plastic, metal, and glass objects in there. No porous materials. No paper. No fabric. No wood. Anything like that.
If you do 4 ounces, will it get more clean?
No. Actually, if everyone does 4 ounces, I'm gonna get a new pickup truck.
New pickup truck.
Because y'all are wasting it. You know, it's not cheap.
All the shop owners and school owners, shout out to Rondell. I see him in here from Stockton Inspired Academy. Babies in here. All the educators, school owners, shop owners, man, you are the spokesman for them right now, boy, because that stuff is expensive. And it's just flying out because people are talking, going like this. What
you call it? The shotgun.
Shotgun. Well, and here, I'll give you the tip. I tell people all the time, we don't want you to waste it. We want you to use it. We want you to buy it. We want you to use it properly. Get a measuring cup, measure 2 ounces, pour it in the jar, get a Sharpie marker and mark the jar at the 2 ounce mark. Now you don't have to measure anymore. You fill it to that mark, and then you fill it the rest of the way with water. I always say, if your barbicide is the color of their shirt, you're wasting it. Barbicide probably is going to be lighter than you think it should be when it is properly mixed. Properly mixed, it works great. If you over dilute it, it's not going to work. If you under dilute it, you're just wasting it.
There we go. All right, man, we got to switch gears here because I think this one is going to, we need a little minute for this. Y'all don't go nowhere because we got a question for Ivan that may spark some things.
Yes,
let's talk about the price of school, man. We visited 5 different schools in 2 days, and the average ticket costs when we asked them what were they paying to go to school today, they all said roughly around $20,000. Some were $25,000. We know college can be anywhere from $20,000 a year to $50,000 and higher per year, in some places per semester. Why do you think barber college is? What do you think the pricing is based on these days? Let's
before you answer that, Ivan, I do want to put out there that when I went to school, back in '91, my intuition was $1,650. The state paid $14. I was supposed to pay $250, but I ended up paying like $50. Anyway, Lon went to apprentice program. What did you pay? $800?
Yeah, I was $800 for the apprenticeship, and I want to say it was early 2000s.
And to keep in mind, nowadays in California, you're paying 20-something thousand at some schools, but you're only taking a written test. When I went to school, I had to not only bring a live model, I also had to do a mannequin and do the written. So what now I'm doing, they're doing less, but they're paying a lot more.
The suspense.
Nah,
this was on purpose. The suspense is like, what is he going to say?
There you go. He's back.
There you go.
I like that. I like that pause.
That was a good.
I like that pause. Now hit him.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
We'd like to say we planned it.
Okay, go ahead, hit him.
Yeah, there's a variety of things going on out there. I don't want to cite statistics that I don't know to be facts that I can't back up. So I want to qualify my remarks by saying that some of them are, approximate ballpark. I know the business well enough. I know I can shoot from the hip, but I think people deserve facts and they deserve a level of accuracy. So I'm going to make a couple of statements. You asked the question, why is barber school costing what it costs now? And I think the simplest answer that I can see from how I experienced the industry at this point in time is barber school is expensive because it can be expensive. Now, that's not a very satisfying answer for most people, and I want to explain what I mean. I would say that the vast majority of barber school students are receiving some form of financial aid. Very few people are capable of paying for barber school cash out of pocket. Some people are applying for and receiving grants. Many people are applying for and receiving loans. Some people are paying a portion out of pocket with substantial subsidies. And this, government funded financial aid is what is making it possible. And, dare I say this, because we're going to get some recoil from some owners and things like that. But I believe that barber school costs $20,000 because the government is willing to pay $20,000. And if a owner can get that much money, they're going to take that much money. Now, I know rent is expensive. Educators are expensive. Light and heat are expensive. I am not in any way minimizing what it costs to operate a beauty school or a barber school. But what I will tell you is I don't believe that it is necessary for school to be as expensive as it is. And what it would take for the price to adjust, I believe, would be the government saying, time out. We're not paying for this. We're not paying this much for this. And you got to remember, take a step back and ask yourself the question, why would the government pay for anyone to go to beauty school or barber school? Why would they loan you the money, or why would they give you a grant in the first place? And I think it's an important question. Our government has a lot to do. There's many things we need money for, from highways and infrastructure to military and defense spending, you name it. Our government's doing a lot. Why are they paying for barber school? And there's one simple answer. It's the same answer to why are they paying for other forms of college? Why are they paying other forms of education? Why are they paying for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning training, computer technology training, any of these things? And at the end of the day, the answer is government-funded financial aid is used to create a taxpayer. It is an investment on the part of the government in a person, so that person can become successfully, the term is gainfully, that they are gainfully employed. They're giving you that money to go out and get a skill, a marketable skill that you can sell to an employer, that you can sell to the public, so that you become a active participant in our economy. And the way you become an active participant in our economy is by earning money and doing two things: paying taxes back to the government and spending the money you earn. Buy groceries, buy clothes, buy a refrigerator, buy a Chevy Blazer, spend the money. Put that money back into the economy. And by the way, save some money along the way to provide for your future. Invest some money in a good way to grow money as a tool. But they want you to make money, and they want you to pay taxes. So the challenge we have had is, and this is where the government, it's not one person, it's an entity. This is where they have a problem. And the problem is they give Jennifer or Michael, they give that student 20 grand. Go to school, get an education, get some skills, and get a job. 20 grand and 1,000 hours later, they went to school, they got some skills, they leave school, and they get a job. And they're making 50 grand, and they're reporting $13,000 on their taxes. And we all know this is happening all over the business.
Yeah.
So what happens is the government looks at Jennifer or Michael and says, wait a minute, we gave you 20 grand and you got an education, and that education only allowed you to get a job that paid you 13 grand? That's not a good investment on our part. No. We're getting ripped off. We gave you that money. We gave you 10 years, 20 years, however long to pay it back. And in the meantime, we didn't get what we wanted. You're not paying your taxes. And it's it's like a cancer that is eating our business from the inside, because you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to fill out a financial aid application to send your son or daughter to college when the time comes. You got to play legit in this business. And, any individual, if you ask them, they're going to say, yeah, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just little old me, and it's just, my few tax dollars. But spread it out all over the industry. How many people are doing this? How many people are coming out of school vastly underreporting their income and essentially demonstrating to the government that their investment isn't working? You and I both know that if you play our game right, and we got a good game, barbering is a great game. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to work hard, you can do really well. You can make,
Yep.
we all know, we got guys in our shops, we got friends in the industry that are making serious money. And we have people that we know that are reporting their income, paying their taxes, playing above board, and running it as a legitimate business, not a street hustle. But we also, and we know what kind of money can be made. The formula works. The problem is there's somebody in the mix. It's not the school owners and it's not the government, but there's somebody in the mix who's cheating the game. And when one person at the table is cheating with cards under the table, the whole game is bad.
Now, we talked about certain states and the price of intuition. You mentioned New York. New York, I think you said, what was it that they cost?
New York's one of the shortest ones. I don't know what the cost of education is in New York, but the hours are some of the shortest in the entire country.
Yeah, what was it? 300 hours?
It's like 300, somewhere
That's
between
bananas.
5, 8, somewhere in through that. It's in the low hundreds. It's not a lot of hours at all. I don't remember exactly. Again, I don't want to quote a wrong statistic, but it's not much. Somebody who's listening to us right now can Google it. But then you got, Nebraska, Iowa. These are states that are over 2,000 hours. What I always say, if you go to the grocery store in Omaha, Nebraska, and you look at the haircuts, they're not better than they are in New York. In terms of you put all that time in at school, I'm not sure how it's going. And that's where the fighting exists. That's where the disconnect is. That's where the discord is, because one state's going, hey, I like my hours low, so my school is inexpensive, so lots of guys will come to school. And then you got another state going, hey, I want my hours high because I want to hit the government hard for as much money as I possibly can. And these two people are not going to agree that 1,000 hours would be great for everybody.
Yeah.
Can we meet in the middle? And the answer is it's a struggle.
Let me ask you.
Stand by Raya said that she just Googled 500 hours in New York.
There you go. Between 3 and 8. That was pretty close.
That's
that's a big difference, though. I'm just curious. Do you think there's a disconnect? And this is shifting from the cost of school, but still in the school topics. Do you think there's a disconnect between what barber schools are required to teach for licensure and what a new barber actually needs to know to survive financially behind the chair?
I'm going to answer that question by asking you a question. So you went through an apprenticeship program. Tamel,
he had a hell of a trainer too. Tell him about me. Tell him about your trainer.
Hey, your boy is your trainer, and we rolling dice and gambling. Hey, he was the best trainer ever. Signing my sheets high. Hey, man.
All right, so now I guess I'm not asking you.
Ask me, because I went to barber college.
Okay, well, no, let's ask the listeners. The question is really for the listeners, and we can see if we get some comments on this. I'm going to pose the question now. The question becomes, when you look back on your experience between school and maybe your first job and beyond that a little bit, where did you learn the majority of what you know? Did you get it in school, or did you get it on the street?
I got it on the streets, and a lot through clients, and a lot through my own search.
You got it on the street. Bottom line, you got it on the street.
Yeah.
So I asked the question. All right, New York is 500, Nebraska is 2,200. How are you using that time? You've got a lot more time. What does that mean? That means there's 1,800 more hours, 1,700 more hours of education in Nebraska. What all are you teaching that New York is skipping? Or the flip side is, what is New York skipping that is part of the larger curriculum? Or are they? Because if the next question that we naturally find ourselves asking is, what would be the best way to educate barbers of the future? I might suggest that it would be a combination of maybe 400 hours of formal school-based education and 400 hours of apprenticeship with a qualified individual overseeing their learning process in a shop environment, a blending of the two, so that you get the textbook, you get the sanitation, you get the history, you get the conventional academic stuff that you need. And then, because at the end of the day, I mean, here we go, we're back to relationship again. The relationship a young person in our industry has with a mentor, a coworker, a boss, a supervisor in an employed situation, I believe that's where really the greatest value and the greatest learning is going to happen. And I can use my life as an example of that. I can rattle off the names of individuals who were mentors, who were resources, who were coaches to me, even after I completed both formal 1,500-hour cosmetology and then the equivalency 1,500-hour barber program.
What do you think about this? When you have a driver's license, several years after getting it, you got to go and renew your driver's license. Do you think it'd be smart or good for the industry if we had to take a shorter version of the test or have some form of a test that we have to do to renew our license?
It's an interesting idea. Now, you got to remember, in a lot of states, cosmetology has required continuing education. So there is a model for something somewhat similar that exists in some cos. But I kind of like what I heard you say, the idea that maybe school's a little shorter, you test out of school at a basic level, and then, for instance, at the end of an apprentice and a journeyman period, maybe, a year as an apprentice and 2 years as a journeyman, then there is an opportunity to test again to then be blessed as a full-blown professional in that way. I think there's a lot of models that could be workable. I think the challenge behind any of them and all of them would be getting people to agree on one. Even when we accept, if we recognize that at the end of the day, we all want the same things. We all want a ease of entry. We all want a low barrier of entry in terms of price. We want quality education, and we want to graduate or create competent, talented professionals. We all agree on those things, I think. I could be wrong, but I think we all agree that that's important. Let's keep it cheap, let's make it good, and let's produce a quality product in a graduate.
There's been some bills trying to get through to stop us from getting, not having to get barber's license, to just get garage barbers to just come into the shop and make that the shop's responsibility. What do you think about that? Because the way I look at it is you're putting all of that weight upon the shop owner, and there's a lot of bad stuff that can happen. Contamination of a client. There's all kind of just unsafe and sanitary things that a person coming into a shop, not going through any type of schooling and getting that, is coming into a shop and have to be taught that.
Deregulation is what you're referring to, and that's a conversation you hear a lot about at times. And the defense of it against it is this notion of safety. Obviously, things like Barbicide certification, they're available, they're online, they're free. We can get people the safety and the infection control education they need. Barbicide has proven it. Millions of stylists are Barbicide certified, and for free. So we can take that out of the conversation. Once you move out of safety, I think a lot of the folks that are in favor of licenses that are against deregulation, they start to lose a little bit of the traction of their argument, because what then takes over is the market, consumers and the marketplace. As long as you're protecting people from a safety standpoint in terms of spreading disease and all that kind of stuff, now we're just talking about bad haircuts. And if you've ever gone to Walmart on a Thursday and walked around the store, hey, these people have licenses and I'm seeing a lot of bad haircuts. But people then have to choose, where do I want to take my business? Where do I want to spend my money? Am I getting a good haircut? Am I getting a good service experience? Are the prices right? That's where the free market economy and consumers take over. So to some extent, the system will regulate itself in terms of things like haircut quality, but it's those issues of safety. And I think it's less of an issue in barbering and more of an issue in cause, where we get into things like chemicals. And that's where we have some challenges from a safety standpoint.
Well, we have a couple of things that people can carry in their hair outside of sanitizing our tools, like lice and other ringworms and things that if you're not being taught that or trained that through Barberside, then where do you?
We do touch on all of those kinds of things in Barberside certification. We're talking about lice, and we're talking about ringworm, and we're talking about some of those communicable diseases and things in the certification program. It gets a whole lot deeper than just how to mix the blue. So I would argue that the Barberside certification does a really good job of covering the safety aspect of health and wellness in the beauty and barber business. I'm not saying that's all we need. I'm not saying that it should be, go online, get a free Barberside certification in 20 minutes and go be a barber. I'm not suggesting that. However, I would put it out there for the sake of argument and go, well, why not? Let's open up the debate and see what people think about it, because it does represent an opportunity for some interesting conversation.
For sure. We have a question. You guys, if any of you guys on Instagram and you have questions for Ivan, jump on YouTube, click the link in the bio, jump on YouTube so your question could be posted. Question we have right here is from Talk. That's our guy, his new podcast, Rondell. Do you truly think 800 hours is enough time to produce professionals?
Well, it's interesting the way that Talk worded that. Do you truly think 800 hours is enough time to produce professionals? And I'm going to then throw it back and say, let's define a professional. You guys have a program that you shared at schools over the last several days with me, in which you talked about what does it mean to be a professional? What is professionalism in a shop environment? And one of the things we glean from that exercise with people is that seldom, if ever, do even the people in our industry equate professionalism with the quality of the haircut itself. Most of it has to do with soft skills, with interpersonal behavior, with customer service issues, with clean bathrooms, sanitation, and things like that. So I would say, as an educator and as a trainer, I think you can effectively train a barber in 800 hours of formal schooling. Yes, I think that can be done. I don't think 800 is an unrealistic number. 300 might be cutting it a little short. I think 1,000 or 1,200 is more than we need, really. But that's one man's opinion.
Yeah. Yes,
Good stuff. All right, this was good, man. For the people that were smart enough to tap in, put a question out there for Ivan, this is a extremely amazing opportunity for us. I love hearing Ivan's answers. I learn something every time he talks. So this was an opportunity missed if you didn't put a question out there. But as we're getting close to the end of this, man, I want to shift gears a little bit. And man, T, let's have some fun on the way out the door, man. Let's have some fun.
Nothing like that, Ivan. Nothing like that.
Hey, if y'all wonder why he looked like that, we got a reputation with Ivan where we'll be walking into an event. And he's walking into the event. He's coming in feeling all good. And he sees us. He's like, "Oh, shit, what do y'all got? What do you got for me today?
What do you got for me today?"
You guys got to understand, and so much of this obviously has been captured on video. These gentlemen have a game they like to play, and it's called Stump the Zoot. Okay?
I think he said that enough that we might actually have to do something just like that. Maybe once a month, once a quarter, just be like, Ivan, you ready? We go.
Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure you've got a graphic artist somewhere working on a logo.
Look, he painting the picture. Ivan is really painting this thing up. He's like, man, I got this good idea. If you ain't picked up on it yet, I'm saying let's do this once a quarter. Logo on the way for your approval soon, sir.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
I'm gonna hit you with this, Ivan. A lot of people, you're pretty much an open book. There's a lot of things people know about you. What is a hidden skill or talent that people do not know you can do or that you have?
Tamel and I spent a lot of time in the car this weekend, a lot of time talking. And in spite of the fact that we've gotten to know each other a bit, he does not know that I know how to ride a unicycle.
Stop. Ooh, that sounds so
Bro.
Bro. How the hell did you learn how to do that?
Yes.
My parents bought me one when I was a kid, and they put it in the garage, and I kind of looked at it for a while, scared to death, and then I said, I got to figure this out. And
what's the trick to it? What's the trick to it? Because it's not like a bike, like it's steady going. You stop moving, it stops moving. What's the trick?
Don't fall off.
It really is. It's like a pogo stick. It's
balance. I skied when I was a kid. I rode a skateboard when I was a kid. I think I naturally come by balance type surfboard activities pretty they're natural for me. There's some people that have to work a little harder for that. So it was just another toy to play with.
Got you. We got a question in the clubhouse. That's dope. LOL. Tamel and Lonnie, what are your guys' hidden talent? That's our barber brother Ramos. What's your hidden talent?
Yeah, why you ask me? He asked you.
He said your name first.
Yeah, but he spelled my name wrong, so it ain't really. Now what?
I mean, if that's how you're gonna do it, I like to rap. I rap since I was probably like 10 years old. In my adult years, it's like I stopped recording it, but I always have ideas. So I'm always, even at 48 years old, I'm always writing down.
Do you have
rap ideas?
You got a link to a Spotify channel with some of your?
You know what? It's a trip. My son is trying to bring me back. He's like, he raps and he's like, man, we need to do some collab stuff. So I told him I'll do it because I felt like it was unfair that he like, man, I hear about it. He talked to people that knew me or whatever. And he's like, man, we should do something together. So he didn't send me beats, stuff with verses on it. So yeah, when I do, I'll let it out. I'll do it. All right, what you got, T? What you do, man?
I don't know. I can make sounds with my hands.
That boy almost made me choke on my water, man. This is my partner, y'all. I got to roll with this.
Let's see here. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, you was for real?
Oh yeah. I gotta find it.
We're going viral. This is getting put out tomorrow. This dude. What the hell did we just sit here and watch?
The funniest thing is, I like Tamel. I know you can do so many other things that you ain't got to display that you can't display tonight. But I couldn't think of nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, my hand whistling thing.
No, we're not gonna take that, man. We're not taking that. He's not gonna try to give us some like mature conservative answer. Oh, my eyes. Let me tell y'all something. Tamel deserved that moment. Because Tamel has blown some people out the water when they didn't answer that question. I won't even say the name of one, but I'll say one person that is really, really near and dear to us. We had an interview with them, and this dude this is his question. He asked this question, and the person, I don't even want to give a hint of who it is. The person he asked this question to said the talent, and he said, well, show us something.
Yeah, show us.
Person, don't say no gender, because we promised we would not leak this.
I ain't saying nothing.
But all I'm gonna tell y'all, this person was vulnerable and just did it. I was surprised. It was like, can y'all turn y'all back? So, and we was like, hell yeah, turn our back and did it on camera. But it wasn't live. And this fool right here, it's like that was horrible. Yeah, if y'all ain't realize, this boy is a real idiot, man. boy is an idiot. I'm trying to tell y'all. He has no shame, man. Anyway, no breaks. All right. Anyway,
no breaks. That's funny.
Okay, so all right, this is my fun part now. We'll get to some rapid fire. Just super quick. Ivan, write down your lane, man. I'm gonna ask you to answer as quickly as possible. And I ain't gotta ask you if you're ready, because I know you stay ready. School or apprenticeship?
Apprenticeship.
Technical skill or business skill? Which
Come on,
one?
business.
Hold on. Which, I should have said it the other way around. Yeah. Which one ruins more barbers' careers when it's missing? Technical skills or business skills?
Business.
Got you. For a barber trying to build their career, YouTube or Instagram?
Neither.
All right. Raise your prices or get more clients?
More clients.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff, man. Yeah, he handled that like a champ. Hey, this was fun, man. I had a lot of fun. We got the rock with our big barber brother. We big barber brothers to a lot of people.
Real quick. $100 or $10 clients. $100 client or $10 clients.
Wait, one more. Was that $100 cuts or $10 cuts?
No, a $100 client or $10 clients. 10
tens every time.
That's the Ivan way.
Man, I'm the volume guy. I'm the speed guy. You know what? Generally speaking, I don't like $100 people.
Wait. Hold on. Why? In full sentence, why does Ivan Zoot not like $100 people? $100 people when it comes to haircuts.
For $10, you get a haircut, you get out. For $100, I got to open up a vein. I got to bleed for you. You know, there's the expectation is just so much higher, and it makes the game more complicated. It makes the game trickier. I don't need it. Let's just, let's go.
Yeah. All right. Before we leave, I just want to serenade you guys one more time.
I can't believe it.
Hold on. Ta-da! You're an ass, Lonnie. You're an ass.
So you guys, this has been another episode, but actually, let me rephrase that. This has been the first episode of the Culture in Motion podcast. You guys have been rocking with us as the For the Culture podcast, and we wouldn't be anything without you. We launched it and announced it this weekend at the NorCal Barber and Beauty Expo. If you got on here in the beginning, you see our format is totally different. If you hang out with us over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of different things. Make sure to tune in on YouTube and Instagram. We have so many interviews, conversations that we just did, and they're on a whole nother level. Dropping tomorrow, we have Ty Barbersign, we have Taylor Cuts, and just a plethora more that I'm not going to name right now, but please stay tuned. And also, we need y'all help. Like, help us grow this, man. So please share this, subscribe. Let's get this out. Let's grow it together, okay? When do we do this, T?
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. And we want you guys to enjoy the rest of your week. Stay blessed.
Hold on. We didn't say thank you to our guests. Thank you, Ivan. We love you, man.
Zoot. Oh, we love you.
We love you, man. We have fun with you all week.
Oh, wait. I got it right here. I got you right here.
Hey.
Y'all got to get this book.
Yeah.
You got to get this book right, champ.
And you got to get this hair combed.
Got to get this hair combed right.
Even if you ain't got no hair. You got to get the comb.
Yeah, boy, you got to get this, man. Ivan says. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody. Peace.
For the culture. For the culture. For the culture. Culture. For the culture.